YouTube world, back at it once again. Citizen Classic 8 here, as I said I would be, here to talk about last night's internet pay-per-view from Ring of Honor. It was Final Battle 2010. This show was great. I really think that if you did not order this show, you missed out. If you weren't there live, you missed out. And the show was just... the show, it kind of started off slow, but it just built up and built up, and the last two matches of the night were just out of this world, including the main event, which was just, it's hard to describe, that whole feud with Kevin Steen and El Generico, and, from the time this started, this has been a long storyline. This has been going on for years. These two have been, tag team partners and everything, and it built up for them going after the tag titles in 2007, and them finally becoming tag team champions after all these times, and then them losing the tag titles and then breaking up at last year's Final Battle, and it's just all culminated, all the feuds and the bloodbaths they had this year, with Colt Cabana and Steve Corino. Everything just culminated into this one match, and the way that the feud started was the same way that the feud ended, and it was beautiful. Like I said, this show was just completely insane. $14.95 on Go Fight Live. You can get the replay. You can watch it as many times as you want. I believe this was the earliest that the replay is available. It was available this afternoon. So I was able to watch the match that I wasn't able to see last night with the first two matches. But oh my God, just really good stuff. You had the opener, ANX, Kenny King, and Rhett Titus against Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Just really good opener. A lot of cool spots and everything. It's basically what you'd see from these two teams. Exactly what you think you see from them. And they getting out there, and the crowd was really into it, and it got you pumped for the show. It was a really good match. Very good opener. Obviously, the Kings of Wrestling, the All Night Express are going to be in for a tag title shot down the line probably against the Kings of Wrestling. So I can't wait to see that. Then you had the scientific match. I'm not sure what they call it. It was Colt Cabana and TJ Perkins. This was a really good match. Not as much comedy as you think you see from Colt Cabana, but really good match. Very technical, obviously scientific, and yeah, I really don't have any reason to complain about this. It was the spot that was put into the show. It was a really good match, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Then we moved on to the Women of Honor. Daizee, Haze, and Awesome Kong versus Sara Del Rey and Serena Deeb. This is better than any women's match you will see on WWE TNA, honestly. I still don't feel like they gave it enough time. I really feel like the Ring of Honor, I wouldn't say rushed, but they blew through this first half of this show. The show started around maybe 7:40, 7:45 or so. And by the time that the first half was over, it was 8:30. I'm like, Jesus, they blew through it. But this is still a really good match. A lot of good interaction between the women and everything. And like I said, just anything. This is much better than what you'll see on WWE. On WWE, they'll give the girls maybe 2-3 minutes or so, and TNA, they'll go out there and they'll do a good match every now and then, like you just saw, Impact or something. But they gave these girls more time than usual. They still should have given them a little bit more time, but it was still a really good match, and I really enjoyed it. Then we went on to Eddie Edwards versus Sonjay Dutt. Still a good match. Obviously, I'm really bummed. If you guys saw my preview, I really wanted to see Kenny Omega wrestle Eddie Edwards. I thought that match would have just been fucking ridiculous. But we didn't get that. Kenny Omega got hurt, so they replaced him with Sonjay Dutt. It was still a good match. I enjoyed it. I don't know. Sonjay is just, I don't know. His whole vibe, I don't know. I don't really get it. But Eddie Edwards is the man. He actually won with Kenny Omega's move, which was the 2K1. Really good stuff. Enjoyed it. Then we went on to the second half. It was the ROH Legends, I guess you can call it. Homicide versus Chris Daniels. Homicide actually came up with Julius Smokes, which I popped to. I love that man. He's awesome. But this was a good match. But I did feel it ended abruptly. You had the Prodigy Mike Bennett sit at ringside for this match, obviously setting up a feud, and more than likely it was going to be with Daniels, and that's what it looked like it was going to be. He was sitting out on ringside. He distracts Daniels by using, I guess, a towel or something, and Homicide hits him with an H Crusher for the win. Like I said, the ending came out of nowhere. You rarely see Homicide win with the Ace Crusher, but he did here. It was still a good match. I thought, I don't know, Homicide's a little bit, I'm a little bit iffy about him right now, but it was still a good match. Could have been much better, but hey, what can you do? Then we went to the six-man Kings of Wrestling, which was Chris Hero, Claudio Castagnoli, and Shane Hagadorn versus Mark and Jay Briscoe, along with Papa Briscoe. This match was so much fun. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I completely enjoyed this match. You had interactions between Kings Wrestling and the Briscoes, and then of course you had Shane Hagadorn coming there, and then Papa Briscoe pulling off like head scissors, and he was about to tease a dive. I mean, obviously I didn't think he was going to do it, but this was like a really big tease. I was like, oh, is he going to do this? And he pulled off a stunner on, I believe, Claudio Castagnoli, and then he won with the Doomsday Device. Really fun match. Exactly what you think you see from this, where you got you got a guy who's trained to wrestle, but he really doesn't, and then Papa Briscoe, who, doesn't wrestle at all. It was a really fun match, and I really enjoyed it. That feud has been going on for pretty much a year. I mean, it's been on and off, but pretty much been going on a year, and man, I mean, if that was the end, I have no problem with that, to be honest with you. Really fun match. Then we moved on to the official main event of the show, the ROH World Title, Davey Richards versus Roderick Strong. These guys, they went out there and killed each other. I mean, kicks and slaps and backbreakers, and Davey did his dive and hit his entire back, hit the guardrail, and I was just like, whoa, that's just, I really hope Davey stops doing that, because I love wrestlers, and I don't want to see these guys in a wheelchair for the rest of their lives. And if he keeps doing that move every single show, it's not going to be good. But it was justified for the world title match. God, you saw just them kicking out of finishers left and right, and they took it to the outside, and Roderick Strong hit Davey with he hit him with I believe a backbreaker through like a table. Then he picks up Davey and hits him with the Gibson driver. DR had this whole concussion thing going on. He was knocked silly throughout the match. I think it was with the sick kick, and Roddy just took over and started hitting backbreakers and kicks and everything. He hits the DR driver. I believe he put them in the stronghold for the win. I don't think that Davey tapped out. I just think he passed out. But awesome match. It's hard to explain. I don't want to ruin all the spots, but just so good. I mean, for anyone that was shitting on Roddy being champion, and I was kind of skeptical when he first, became champion, this match proved that he should be Ring of Honor World Champion, and I have no problem with it. I know the DR fans are going to be like, well, Davey should have won. He's going to get a shot. It's going to come. Hopefully they don't wait a long time like they did for Tyler, but his time will come. But it was an awesome match. They played with the whole concussion thing at the end. And yeah, awesome stuff. You gotta see this match. And then the unsanctioned fight without honor, the end of the feud. Now my #1 match of the year, and I mean that sincerely. El Generico versus Kevin Steen. If Kevin Steen loses, he leaves Ring of Honor. If El Generico loses, he loses his mask. I'm not gonna ruin any spots in this. This match was beautiful. These guys went out there, and like I said in the last match, they killed each other. They really killed, like, you could sense the hatred between these two guys in this match, and oh my god, like, this is exactly what a feud should be. And you thought a screw job was coming, and they didn't do it. And like Ring of Honor said, and they weren't going to screw you out of this. It was either going to be one or the other. As far as Kevin Steen's career in the Ring of Honor or his mask, it was going to be one or the other. The end was so beautiful. El Generico had a chair. The whole feud started with Kevin Steen hitting El Generico in the head with a chair. The end came down. El Generico has a chair. About to hit Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen, I could see his arm behind him, so I was like, what is he going to do? And then, you know, as soon as he's about to reel back to hit him with the chair, he pulls out the mask. And then, you know, and El Generico's just looking at it, and he grabs it, and he drops it, and then he just smacks Kevin Steen. Smacks him with the chair, and what a way to end the feud. You end the feud the way you began. This feud has just been awesome. You know, I've been really intrigued by this. I really didn't think they'd go this long, even though we were like, you know, there's a chance they can go all the way to Final Battle. I just thought, man, I was like, man, you know, I don't know how they can keep this feud going an entire year, but adding Colt Cabana, adding Steve Corino really helped out. Awesome stuff. Like I said, this is now my match of the year. Definitely deserves it. Just an overall great show. Like I said, the whole thing built up. Awesome show. Go Fight Live, this was, you know, they had some problems at the beginning, and that's only because Go Fight Live and Ring of Honor, they did not expect as many people who ordered the show, you know, that ordered the show, and the servers like crashed and everything, and apparently this was like the most watched show live and in person in Ring of Honor history, that's just crazy. And it's been awesome. Like this show is, the way the show ended with El Generico and Kevin Steen just puts a stamp on how awesome 2010 has been. I mean, with the introduction of the Go Fight Live shows, and you know, for us who've been Ring of Honor fans for a long time, and you know, I know I haven't been the longest. There were people before me, but me in 2007, when you know we can only get pay-per-view every 60 days, 90 days, or something like that, and you know, these weren't live; these were taped, and you know, still having to watch the DVDs and having to see it like 3 months later, and having Go Fight Live be able to put these shows on live for us, and having to see a Ring of Honor show live and not be there, that's amazing. And you know, I thank Ring of Honor and you know for putting this on, because I mean, they just had top-notch shows all year long. I mean, starting out with the LA show, you know, Aries versus Liger, you know, and then ending with Kevin Steen and El Generico. I mean, they've had their battles from last year's Final Battle, going to Death Before Dishonor with the first match. You know, they've had, you know, 6 months in the making. Even on that show, you had Kings of Wrestling and the Briscoes and a bloodbath. You know, after their awesome match at the Big Bang, the pay-per-view before, Davey Richards and Tyler Black. Everyone knows how awesome that match was. Then you had, you know, the introduction of World's Greatest Tag Team come in, and you know, they faced the Kings of Wrestling, and that was a dream match. And we also got Motor City Machine Guns as Supercard of Honor, which was an awesome show. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Kings of Wrestling, and Awesome Kong versus Sara Del Rey, and you know, like seriously, this was just great. The return of Christopher Daniels, the return of Homicide, and you know, the evolution of Eddie Edwards. And then you got up-and-comers like ANX and Kenny Omega coming in and showing off his talents. And, I mean, just an awesome, awesome year. And I know Ring of Honor has had changes this year, but, you know, you do what you got to do. And, you know, I can't say, you know, everyone, I know so many people on YouTube are tired of guys like me and True Slayer and Sanders Robin and Big Rat and Honor Hammer and everybody. They're tired of us talking about Ring of Honor, but we're talking about it because it's so awesome. I mean, you know, it's so much you can say about this, but I'm just saying 2010 was an awesome year for Ring of Honor. I thank them so much, and I cannot wait to see what happens in 2011. We got World's Greatest Tag Team going to be members of the roster. That's so awesome. We're going to have new guys come up. We're going to have guys leave, of course, but it's just going to be an exciting year. I cannot wait. I'm pretty sure we'll see more Go Fight Live shows, and, you know, it's going to be awesome. And like I said, see this show. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You need to see one promo in order to get the Kevin Steen and El Generico feud, then watch that match, and then you'll be blown away. I'm telling you, this is the best stuff you'll ever see. Don't spend $44.95 on TLC tonight. I know it's probably late, but don't spend it on that. Don't spend it on Genesis next month. Spend your money on Ring of Honor. I promise you will not be upset. that's just my thoughts on it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, thank you Ring of Honor for everything. I appreciate it. Instant Classic 8 piece.